Yes, there is a Jeep with a plug, an electrified Jeep Wrangler, and it's part of a broader electrification strategy at Stellantis, which is Jeep's parent company. Stellantis has brands everything from Jeep to Chrysler to Peugeot's, whole range of them, 14 brands in all. In any case, the whole plan here is to electrify the full Jeep lineup and pretty much everything else in the Stellantis lineup globally. Stellantis, the fourth largest automaker in the world. Well, the question here today is, should you buy the Jeep Wrangler 4xe? 4xe, I'm sure you get it. Four-wheel drive, electric, the two combined. Now this battery operated but very rugged 4x4 isn't cheap. The base price here of the Rubicon model, almost $60,000. Of course, you do get the lithium-ion battery pack, 400 volts, 17 kilowatt hours, and that gives you a range of about 35 kilometers if you drive properly. And by the way, this battery pack right here just tucks nicely under the back seat, where it really doesn't take up very much cargo space. So yes, you are buying a lot of technology, a great brand, unsurpassed off-road capabilities, lots of power, and battery-only range, as I said, of about 35 kilometers. Now, the usual spin from car makers is that most people don't need more than 35 kilometers of battery range. That's all they drive in a given day. Well, if that's true, then why buy a hybrid at all? If you're only doing 35 kilometers a day, you're not using much fuel, you're not pumping too much CO2 into the atmosphere, and so you're spending a lot of money, tens of thousands of dollars, for technology that you really don't need. At least that's my take on it. Okay, enough of my editorializing. Let's get to the nuts and bolts. This Wrangler is a powerful beast, 375 horsepower and a whopping 470 pound-feet of torque from a turbocharged four-cylinder engine with 8-speed automatic gearbox paired with 2 electric motors. It's quick, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in about 6 seconds. Then again, in E-only mode, you can tackle boulders and sand dunes and muddy bogs running on silent electric power. That way you'll hear the off-road tires searching for grip and those sorts of things. The EV piece, though, gives you instant torque in the bush, and the clever EV packaging means you can ford streams without shorting out the electrics. Now, one of those 2 electric motors is right here under the hood. It's called the Etorque Module, and essentially it replaces a traditional alternator and manages the stop-start function of the Wrangler 4xe. The second electric motor, and the much more powerful electric motor, is right between the engine, the gas engine, and the transmission, and this handles the electric driving piece of the whole equation. This is a very similar idea to what Honda used to do with its hybrids with a device called the Integrated Motor Assist, the IMA. Cool features? Well, let's start with the 3 driving modes, including E-Save, which puts the gas engine primarily to work, saving the batteries as much as possible. In electric mode, you're all batteries unless you smash the throttle and you need even more juice. In the default mode, hybrid, you get an old-fashioned blend of gas and electric. Battery first, then gas is needed, and these things blend together. On the dash, you can see lights that indicate the charge level, and in the infotainment screen, you have the hybrid pages that tell you all about your driving history, the power flow, and so on, and help you manage those 35K of range. But my favorite feature in this whole rig is the battery charge mode. This is cool. Punch it up through the screen, and the engine will charge the batteries. That's useful, and it's dead simple to manage through Uconnect. You can also extend range by turning on the max regenerative braking function, which essentially gives you 1-foot braking and captures a lot of otherwise wasted energy through braking. Yes, the 8.4-inch Uconnect infotainment screen, it's a bit on the small side, but wow, is this an easy system to operate. It's very intuitive with the apps lined up at the bottom of the screen and all the screens moving very quickly from one to the other, very responsive, maybe one of the very, very best infotainment systems in the whole car business. So driving this Wrangler 4xe is a tale of 2 driving experiences. In the city, you get the usual clumsy handling and bouncy ride of a rig with this sort of ground clearance and suspension travel. It's noisy too. On top of that, you need to accept the tight retro interior and awkward access. This is a tall vehicle and there's no running board on my tester, and it's a climb to get into this thing. EV to hybrid transitions between gas and electric power are at times a bit rough, and if you don't charge up the battery regularly, you will absolutely hate the fuel economy. So if you're going to own a 4xe, make it your business to plug in regularly. Now the charging dock is right here on the driver's side, and with a level 2 charger, you need a couple hours to go from 0 to ready to go. Now the 4xe is a Wrangler in all the traditional ways, the squared off design that screams Jeep and reminds everybody of the heritage of this brand. And yes, you can remove the roof and all 4 doors. You also sit high and look through a ramrod straight windscreen. All this is very, very authentic. Some have said the 4xe is a gimmick or a sales ploy, but what it really represents is an early Jeep effort to meet governments tightening the screws on emissions. Automakers from Shanghai to California are facing tougher and tougher emissions regulations, heading towards zero emissions for everything sold in a fleet in any one particular jurisdiction. So what you're looking at here is an early Jeep compliance tester vehicle, really, government compliance. Gas-powered alternatives include the Land Rover Defender and the Ford Bronco, but neither of those comes with a plug yet. Those plugs are coming though. In the meantime, should you buy the Wrangler 4xe? I think 75 grand for 35K of range, that's just too much to pay.